the crazy thing is all the appreciation that we've seen in the last 5 years, which is when I stopped buying.
Yeah.
Had I went out and bought 100 houses, another 100 houses, you know, I'd be in a way different position today. But you never know what you're going to get into. And part of my fear of the market is what I actually did for that hard money lender, that private lender that I wound up partnering with to buy the multifamily. Well, before we did that, he was an owner finance guy, and he had been owner financing in the early 2000s, and he got a bunch of foreclosures back in 2008, a whole bunch. And I would go out and sell those for him. I would either wholesale them or I would go out and find an owner finance buyer for him, put the deal together, and then he'd pay me for finding the buyer. And it was so difficult because he owed so much on these houses. And I was trying to explain to him, look, your numbers don't work. I don't know why you bought this, and I don't know why you paid this price, but I can't sell it for this right now. The market's in the gutter. And time after time after time, I would just try, and sometimes I could make it work. I could get it sold at the number he needed by adjusting the down payment or the interest rate or just pushing for more buyers until eventually I found somebody. But there was a lot where he'd throw in the towel and say, "Okay, rent it. I need to get 1,400 a month for this thing to cover." And I'm like, "Look, dude, this is an $800 rent neighborhood. I mean, what do you want me to do?"
Yeah.
And he was getting smoked. He had probably 20 or 30 houses like that. And I saw him. Each time I'd book one, he'd tell me, "I'm losing 500 a month on this house." Next one, "I'm losing 650 a month on this house." Next one, "Okay, I'm losing $50 a month on this one." But he had to get him moved. He had to do something with him. And I saw that guy just get completely taken to the cleaners. And so when I started seeing prices appreciation in 2018, I thought, man, this can't go on forever. I don't want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy a bunch of stuff, have the market crash, and then I can't get what I need out of it. But there are some things you can do. He had all the 5-year balloon style loans on his
Yeah.
properties.
Yeah.
So his interest is only fixed for the first 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you do that, you're in danger. If you get a 30-year loan right off the bat for your rental, you might pay a little more interest, but then you don't really care what the market does. And if you do rentals instead of owner finance, you don't care what prices are. You just care that someone will rent it from you.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I think that's a vulnerability that I do get, that rental properties in general are more wealth building plays, not cash flow. And then general owners finance is a bit more of a cash flow play, but otherwise it's depreciating asset. But the vulnerability to owners finance is the foreclosure, and also mitigating the downside risk from an insurance perspective on the property condition whenever you foreclose. Because if it flooded and you didn't require flood insurance and you foreclose, like, yeah, you got the property back, but now what?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot, and I've been on both sides of an owner finance deal that goes bad. I've been on one where it had appreciated so much and they quit paying. And I asked them if they wanted to just deed it back to me in lieu of foreclosure, and they said yes. And I said, fine, kept it as a rental. And I got all that appreciation. And I was, I was sad that they lost their home and they had to move and couldn't make it work. But financially, it was a big win for my balance sheet because, it had appreciated so much and they had paid my loan down so much. And then I've been on the flip side. I got one right now. We're in month number 13 of this guy's third bankruptcy.
Jeez.
He hasn't paid me in over a year, and I sold it to him at the top of the market. So now I got to foreclose, and
Yeah.
it's probably going to be worth half of what he owes me. I'm going to get smoked on that deal. I'm going to lose 100 grand, but maybe I'll rent it out for 20 years and not lose anything.
Time does, if you can sustain it, time heals most, not all, but most wounds in real estate. But
Yeah.
you do have to be able to sustain it.